moving on. I have another article here. The Proposition 8 trial. Witness says marriage threatened if gays can wed. Lawyers for Proposition 8 sponsors are trying to prove that the voter-approved measure serves a legitimate public purpose. I want you people watching this to remember this, because this is a key point in the entire trial. Later on, David Blackenhorn said that if we move towards a widespread adoption of same-sex marriage, I believe the effect will be significantly further and in some respects culminate the process of the deinstitutionalization of marriage. Blackenhorn also acknowledged that heterosexuals are responsible for the rising divorce rate and out-of-wedlock birth rates, but said that allowing gays to marry could accelerate the process and possibly lead to legalization of polygamy. Yet again, another accusation of gay marriage leading to polygamy. I want someone out there, anyone out there, who's watching this video, if they can understand this realm of logic and have it make sense, someone please tell me, so that I can at least try to logically fathom this point. Because what we have here are just two people who are trying to wed each other. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, or two men, two women, doesn't matter. It's still one-on-one. How do you go from a one-on-one marriage to one on a multiple of people? There's no logistic claims at all that can have this make sense. We're just talking about one-on-one unions, not one-on-5 unions, not one-on-7 unions. This doesn't make sense. And it's really just another one of those, it's another one of those claims that's completely devoted with a lie, and it's trying to produce this fear factor with people who are too stupid to think for themselves. Later on, Blackenhorn said he thought it was important to preserve the child-rearing function of marriage because research showed that being raised by biological parents and a stable marriage produced the most well-adjusted children. Under cross-examination, Blackenhorn said he was unaware of any studies showing that children raised by gay or lesbian couples since birth fared worse than children brought up by their biological mother and father. Alright, so Blackenhorn, he claims that having biological parents and a stable marriage household is crucial in creating well-adjusted children. Alright, I'll agree with that, yes. But you're taking two factors that are completely separate from one another, and you need both of these in order to raise a properly well-adjusted child in just a heterosexual household. You're completely ignoring the fact that if you remove either one of these factors, that the mental well-being of the child could be threatened. It could possibly be chipped away a little bit, if not just downright destroyed. And on top of that, you have absolutely no studies whatsoever on the gay and lesbian couple side in order to, possibly help boost your own claims. You have nothing. Blackenhorn. And what's worse is that Blackenhorn here contradicts himself later on. He says that claims that marriage should only be between a man and a woman because you need a man and a woman to raise a child in a stable household, mind you, they have to be biological parents, in order to raise well-adjusted children. And yet, he was asked, do you believe that legalizing same-sex marriage would improve the well-being of children raised by those households? Boys asked. And Blackenhorn is quoted in saying, adopting same-sex marriage would be likely to improve the well-being of gay and lesbian households and their children. So already he's contradicting his own argument here. He's trying to proclaim that only men and women should be allowed to marry because that's what you need in a stable household to raise children. Yet he's claiming that if gay marriage was to be legal, then not only would the household be improved, but quite possibly the well-being of the children raised in those households would also improve. You're only helping our case there, Blankenhorn. I really have nothing else to say to that. I thought I would, but constantly contradicting himself. But I thank you for telling the truth. I have here an article from the Baptist Press. And there's a lot of cases in this article that perturb me. David Boies asked a series of questions to the defense witness on day 11, such as, the reason Prop 8 was passed because of religion, correct? The witness said he disagreed, so Boies tried it in a different way, asking, do you believe that it is generally accepted that it is not appropriate for a majority religion or majority religion coalition to impose their views on a minority? So I ask you, the viewers, is it appropriate for a majority religion or a majority religious coalition to impose their views on a minority? For any of you who are listening to this and actually saying yes, you're fucking retarded. Because it's not. And you have no logical basis to try to argue otherwise. Richard Land, president of the Southern Baptist Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission, is quoting saying that the SBC beliefs are not the products of centuries of hatred and prejudice, but rather the product of centuries of people of God, being faithful to God's word and God's definition of His institution, holy matrimony. The Alliance Defense Fund attorney was quoted saying that states with gay marriage have seen controversy over what's taught in public schools. Legalization of gay marriage nationwide will only make matters far worse. We're not going to have a wonderful pluralistic nirvana of diversity, he said. We're going to have something harsh that's similar to a regime that imposes punishments on those who criticize or blaspheme their doctrines. Funny you should mention that, Lawrence, because that's exactly what a lot of main religions have been doing throughout the course of history of mankind. The Southern Baptist and Catholic passages read in the courtroom are anything but controversial. When one of the SB resolutions expert read stuff on Leviticus, Romans, Corinthians, and a few others, another passage read out loud said, we call on Southern Baptists not only to stand against same-sex unions, but to demonstrate our love for those practicing homosexuality by sharing with them the forgiving and transforming power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. The Vatican document read in part, there's absolutely no ground for considering homosexual unions to be in any way similar or even remotely analogous to God's plan for marriage and family. Marriage is holy, while homosexual acts go against the natural moral law. Homosexual acts close the sexual act to the gift of life. They do not proceed from a genuine, effective, and sexual complementarity. Complementarity, yes. Alright, several things I have wrong with this, several things that are wrong with this entire article that I take issue with is that, for starters, that the Southern Baptist Commission here proclaims that their God is really the only God that should be allowed marriage, or anyone who has similar views of their God as confirming with homosexuality, when in fact we have something in this country called freedom of religion, which allows anyone to believe any religion that they want to, no matter how crazy or fucked up it may sound. Unfortunately, such is the reason why we have Scientology. Last I checked, marriage was not just simply done with one religion. It was done with all of them. And there are plenty of religions out there that will gladly be able to marry a gay couple or a lesbian couple. They have no problem with it because their God thinks it's just perfectly fine as long as they love each other. That's all that God cares about. That is, assuming that, this God that they're proclaiming is real. Some people may not want to believe in a God, which is also part of the freedom of religion. And yet, you have atheists that are still getting married. Explain that one. So yes, no religion has any right to the word marriage. Not any one religion. All religions do. So anyone that thinks otherwise is full of shit. Freedom of religion. Was there anything else I missed in here? No, caught on that. Isn't that? Touched on that. That's it. Okay. Oh, this is a big one. I like this. I have an article here from the KALW News.